Hello, everybody. This is the Chocolate News Podcast, and I'm your co host, John Alexander Reese. And if you didn't know, the Cincinnati Herald has been around since 1955 and is the leading African American owned newspaper in the greater Cincinnati area and northern Kentucky area. And today we have with us our digital correspondent, Andrea Carter. How's it going, Andrea?
Fine, John. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So, Andrea, what's the chocolate news of the week?
Well, it's a little quiet, but one chocolate news of the week. We'll start out with the FBI has launched an investigation into all of those bomb threats that occurred during the beginning of Black History Month. Over 13 HBCUs were sent bomb threats in various stages of time throughout the day. And I know they do have 6 people of interest involved with that, but that's as far as we know so far. Hopefully we'll have an answer or a response soon as about why, all these colleges were sent bomb threats. But, there are stupid people in the world, so there's not much we can do about that. But I mean, it's kind of sad when you want to threaten institutions of education. But then again, when people don't like the fact, there are some people out there who think it's a joke and thought it's funny. And then there are some people who are intimidated by people who don't look like them, who have more education than they do. So I think it's ridiculous, but I'm hoping the FBI will announce, once their investigation is done, who did it and why put a scare into so many college campuses, because it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's sad that this happened during Black History Month too. I mean, I guess they were trying to be funny, but it's not funny at all. It's like bomb threats are never funny, and I just don't know why people just continue to do that. It's sick and it's just sad, really.
It's sick and it's sad, but it's an easy way to, if it's a practical joke, I can see 1 or 2 being a practical joke, but not 13. That's when it's coordinated, 6 people through technology. There is an attitude racing through this country against people of color, and unfortunately, this is another part of that sickness, that people think it would be worthwhile to do something like this. But at the end of the day, the rule of law hopefully will prevail, and they will be caught and charged and convicted.
Yes, let's certainly hope so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Another sad note, it's a growing story. If you have not, I'm sure people have heard about Amir Locke. He is the young man who was asleep on a friend's couch, and the police were implementing a no-knock warrant, came into the apartment and called out police. Amir was asleep on the couch. He did own a gun. He had a gun permit. He heard a noise. He woke up. He grabbed his gun, pointed it down to the ground in a safety position. Officer saw him with his hand on the gun and shot him. Never once them saying, "Stop, police." Never once saying, put your hands up, put the gun down. None of that. They just instantly shot him. The Minneapolis police did release the body cam footage. According to the report, the police said that Amir had pointed his gun at the officer and he shot, but the body cam footage shows that he had it in a pointed down position. That's a safety position that everyone is taught when you take a gun class. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. So as this continues, we will keep everyone updated. There are a number of papers. The Minnesota Spokesman Recorder is the main newspaper who's been covering all of the police issues that have been going on in Minnesota, and they've been doing a fantastic job. So we'll just have to keep up with them and see what we can report next about what's happening.
Definitely.
So that's the sad news for this week. Now, the happy news.
Yay.
The happy news is that, Cincinnati held a pep rally on Monday to wish the Bengals well as they get ready to fly to Los Angeles. They flew to Los Angeles on Tuesday. They're there now prepping and practicing for the Super Bowl on Sunday. And, as a Super Bowl fan, I should say, as a Bengals fan, I can't wait for the Super Bowl because I think it's going to be a good game. I think they're very well matched. I think the stories that everyone's coming up with about the Bengals, they've been known as the Bungles for so long. They're now kind of like, is it a fluke? Is it a dream? Is it this? Is it that? And basically, it comes down to it was good football. We've been waiting a long time. Finally, everything is clicking with the team, and we're going to the Super Bowl. So I would just say, pick who you're going to support, who day, go for it.
Well, it's nice seeing like the Bengals as the underdog and people getting behind the Bengals and everything. I think that's like spectacular.
I think it's wonderful that a team that people have been putting down for 31 years, they've struggled here and there, that they finally found their footing. They finally found that, everything is clicking. And it also helps the fact that since this is the Chinese New Year, the year of the tiger, that's also karma for us. So, I'm gonna take everything I can get. But, going into the Super Bowl, I just have this one thing to say. I don't know what I'm more excited about, the Bengals being in the Super Bowl or the halftime show. So,
Ooh, yes, I forgot about the halftime show. Yeah, the halftime show should be spectacular also.
Oh yeah, because the halftime show is the first time that hip hop is actually be showcased. I mean, you're gonna have a number of the hip hop greats performing, but I'm especially excited because Mary J. Blige is gonna blow. So I'm just like, yes, because I'm a huge Mary J. Blige fan. Right. But I mean, you get to see. I think Dr. Dre. No, not Dr. Dre, but
no, Dr. Dre's gonna be there. Dr. Dre. Yeah, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. They're all going to be there. And so it should be a very exciting and very pumped up show. I honestly can't wait for that.
But I mean, I'm just like, how did they put together that combination of hip hop stars to perform along with Mary J. Blige?
Well, you know what? They all know each other because Dr. Dre knew Snoop Dogg back in the day, when they were both on Death Row Records.
That's right.
Dr. Dre basically discovered Eminem. And Dr. Dre has worked with Mary J. Blige in the past. And then Dr. Dre, pretty sure Kendrick Lamar is signed to Dr. Dre's label, I think. I'm not sure.
You know what? Come to think of it, I think he is signed to his label.
Yeah.
So, this is the Dr. Dre show. Basically.
Yeah, basically.
And I mean, but it's a nice eclectic mix from the old and the new, so to speak.
Right.
We're going to see a good show. They're going to be bleeped a lot, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
I think I know I'm putting this out there, but how many drinking games are going to be created by how many times there's a bleep during the halftime show? To have the drink.
I'm pretty sure you get alcohol poisoning.
I just want to know who's going to be game for that game. But anyway, I think it's going to be it's going to be overall. I think this is going to be one of the better Super Bowls because of the anticipation to see, can the Bengals take it all the way, be a dream season. For the Rams, is like, they've been there before, haven't they, at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but I think I think back when they were in, were they in St. Louis, I think?
No, they used to be Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, was it? Who am I thinking of then?
I think it's Los Angeles.
Okay, I could have sworn,
because I mean, if you think about it,
I could have sworn they were from St. Louis, and then the team moved to Los Angeles. At least
that's right. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You're right. You know who I'm thinking of? I'm mixing them up with the Raiders.
Right.
The Raiders left Oakland and they moved to Las Vegas.
Okay.
And right. I mean, it's two California teams, but I forgot one's from the Midwest that went to LA. One left the California area and went to not too far west, but went a little west. And they have a nice new shiny stadium in black. I saw that stadium in Vegas. I was like, why? But okay.
Well, you know what? It just makes me happy that I was looking at the article and looking at the photos, the pep rally, and it just warmed my heart to see so many fans of Cincinnati, because the Bengals haven't been to the Super Bowl, what since like 1989, I think.
1989. I think it's
Yeah.
1989 or 1990 or something. I know it's the early 90s. That much I do remember.
Yeah.
And then they didn't make, I mean, that was the last time.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of like the 31 years is almost compared to the New Orleans Saints, where they had that
Right.
long drought of not being able to do anything. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, bam, they're winning.
Yeah. And
So
then it happened like a couple years right after Hurricane Katrina. So it was like they really needed like something, to lift their spirits up.
right. And I think this is a good sign that Cincinnati is up for some good things. The 2022 is going to be wonderful for Cincinnati in so many ways.
Yeah.
Despite any issues and other stuff that's going on, I think this is good karma for Cincinnati. And I'm just, someone this morning I had a conversation and they asked me what the point spread was going to be. And I said, in just playing, I said the Bengals will win by 10. And someone else in this conversation said, no, it's going to be closer, but they said it's going to be like 31-32. So I was like, so we'll see.
That's a little too close for me.
Yeah, it's a little close. I mean, really, truly, I think it's going to be a tight game. Even though I said a 10-point spread, I think it might come down. The Bengals have won games with just barely a 3 to 5 point spread.
Right.
So, I mean, and just think, I think the last 3 games they won off a field goal.
And you know what? That's probably how the Super Bowl will be too. Evan McPherson kicking that field goal, they win. I'm just like, that would be something.
That would be something. I mean, everyone wants to win with a touchdown or with a, hold the ball or things like that. But for some reason, you don't want to win off a field goal, so.
A win's a win, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. And so I'm looking forward to everything. So
yeah, Cincinnati really needs this, and even if the Bengals don't win, but I think they will win. It's incredible that what this team has done, and I wish them the best. I'm hoping that they win.
Well, I'm hoping that the good karma spreads to the Reds, because
that would be nice.
The Reds need a little something.
Yeah,
and then our soccer team needs a little something.
Yeah.
They did not have a very good season last year. Yeah. So I think this might be good sports karma for our city, because we have so much sports, whether it's national or collegiate. We are a sports town. We want our sports, but we want a winning team to support them. So if it's the Bengals, then if it's going to be the Bearcats, then it could be the Reds, and then the soccer team. I think it would be a fantastic year for us. So that's what I'm putting out to the universe right now. Hopefully somebody's listening. So then for our final story for Chocolate News Story for the year, the Oscars were announced today.
Yes.
And it was very surprising.
Very, very interesting year.
It has been. I mean, Jennifer Hudson got shut out.
Yes, she did.
I mean, really respect. The whole movie got shut out. I don't think they got nominated for anything.
It's surprising that Jennifer Hudson got shut out, because there's another award show called the SAGs, or the Screen Actors Guild Award, and she got nominated for lead actress in the Screen Actors Guild Award. So usually how it goes, if you get a SAG nomination, you usually get an Oscar nomination. So that's definitely a snub.
It's a definite snub. I mean, if you look at the list, there's people of color nominated, but not as much as you would think.
Yeah.
Folks are, filling their oats a little bit, who knows. But I think what's interesting is Javier Bardem got nominated for Being the Ricardos, which I still have to see. I mean, there's a lot of these movies I still have to see. I did see King Richard. Mm-hmm. It was very good. I still have to see Tragedy of Macbeth, but Denzel Washington with a beard, oh my God, he looks fantastic with a beard.
Well, let me tell you about the Tragedy of Macbeth, and also, which really helps this year, is that a lot of these movies are on streaming platforms right now, so you don't have to go to the theater to watch them. So that actually helps. But I'm telling you, Denzel Washington and Tragedy of Macbeth, if you want to see some world-class Shakespearean acting, watch that film. It just reminds you why Denzel is one of the greats. It
Well,
really does.
I do remember that when he was doing what was that hospital show he was on that really launched his career?
Oh, is it
Um,
Saint Elsewhere, I think?
yes, Saint Elsewhere. I remember way back when either it was after Saint Elsewhere and he started doing a lot of movies, things like that. He used to talk about how he would love to go do Shakespeare in the Park.
Mm,
And all the different types of characters that Shakespeare had, and they'll talk that old English and emote emotion and be just be whatever way Shakespeare characters are. It's kind of like who was that one actor who was known for his Shakespearean roles? There are a number of old Hollywood actors.
well, you know what? It's like,
Lesbians.
well, actually, this year, Kenneth Branagh, he's done a lot of Shakespearean roles. Like he was in Henry V, he did Hamlet, Midsummer Night's Dream. He actually got nominated too, but for a whole different movie. But yeah, he would do a lot of Shakespearean stuff.
Well, I mean, and Shakespeare is a type of you have to have to handle a Shakespearean role. It's a type you have to find your inner depth as an actor to bring it out on these old medieval characters, whatever they may be.
Right.
And I think the range of if you can do Shakespeare, you can do anything. I think it's
Hmm.
been the thing all over, whether it's on Broadway or in Hollywood. And I think the fact that we've seen the breadth of Denzel just be able to do so many different type of roles. And I mean, he's always played good guys. Then he became a bad guy in so many roles. And it
Yes.
was like, oh, Denzel can be bad. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's a stretch for him, but I like to see him stretch. But the fact that he finally got to do a Shakespearean role on the screen is wonderful. So I'm happy about that. Tick, Tick, Boom. I don't remember what that was about.
That is the movie of Andrew Garfield, and he plays, and I can't remember, he stars as a playwright, and eventually I can't remember the playwright's name, but anyway, he's the same playwright who wrote Rent. And
Oh,
unfortunately,
yes.
yes, and unfortunately
Yes,
he died
yes.
before Rent like really took off.
And
But
Rent's really good.
yeah,
So, I
but
mean,
Tick
that's
Tick
one of
Boom
my,
was like his first play, I believe.
and so it's, you know, I love Rent, but again, I have to play catch up on some of these. Some of these I've heard about. I heard that there's very good. Being the Ricardos, I heard how well it was done. I've seen trailers of it, bits and pieces of it. Nicole Kidman,
Yeah, she
I
plays
remember,
Lucille Ball, and I
right? I
heard,
remember that
and I
little.
haven't seen Being the Ricardos, but I heard she knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, in fact, she said it took her a minute to get used to the fact that she's playing such an iconic person.
Mm,
But she took it on to play Lucille Ball, who not only was a comedian, but the strength and character she kicked ass as a producer
yeah,
and manager of a production company, along with Ricky Ricardo.
right,
They were a power couple.
right.
So what they went through, and that couple, they were made friends after they separated.
Yeah,
But and then the movie Belfast, I heard about that movie, but
yes. Well, let me just go over like the best picture list real quick.
go
So
ahead.
you know what we're talking about. And there are actually 10 movies nominated this year. It was Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. So those are the 10 movies that are nominated for Best Picture this year.
I'm surprised. What I knew West Side Story was going to get nominated.
Right.
I heard about Dune, and visually, Dune looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Belfast, I heard about Coda.
Now, Coda is, I think it features like an all-deaf cast, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
And
okay.
and actually one of the actors from Coda actually got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but that's playing on Apple TV Plus. So if you have Apple TV Plus, you can check that out right now.
Okay. Don't Look Up is a very interesting take on climate change
Yes.
and take on our world, our solar system, and what can happen.
It's a very good satire, in my opinion. And I know like opinion was like split down the middle on that film, but I think it did a good job. And that's also on Netflix if anyone wanted to check that out.
Also, I've seen King Richard,
Right.
uh, and I thought Will Smith did a pretty good job of portraying Richard.
Richard Williams. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard Williams.
Yeah. Now, I think now maybe I think it's early, but I think I'm pretty sure this is Will Smith's year to win his Oscar because he's been nominated twice before. He was nominated in Ali for playing Muhammad Ali, and then he was also nominated for The Pursuit of Happiness. So I think this will be his year, and I think he's finally going to get that Oscar gold.
Well, I hope so. I mean, but he's up some tough. He's up against some tough competition.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Best actor is always a very brutal race. And like I said, just looking at the people involved is Javier Bardem, Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, and then, who we were talking about earlier, Denzel Washington. So that's always a brutal race, no matter what year it is.
oh, yeah, I mean, and Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, I love his work. He's so versatile
Yeah,
in what he can do. I mean, it's he's not only done. He can go from Marvel to Sherlock Holmes to other things. He did a it's just interesting to see him transform himself into whatever character he's portraying, and
right.
you believe it so well. He's such a good actor.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, it's going to be interesting to see when they announce the winners. It's going to be
Yeah,
interesting to see
it's going
who
to be an
wins.
interesting year because I really think it's like, unlike some years where, oh, this person's going to win or this person's going to win, it's honestly up in the air as far as I'm concerned. It's like anyone, anyone could win. It's like, I really don't know. And it should be surprising. So,
Yeah,
it
I'm
should
a
be
little
definitely
bit.
interesting year.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a little disappointed on the actresses that are nominated for a leading role. They're very well deserving, but I'm disappointed in terms that there were so many other great performances out there
Right,
that could have been nominated. I mean, who won? I mean, who's been nominated? They are good in their own way. I mean, I've seen Nicole just taking the category
right,
personally.
right.
Um, but I think Kristen Stewart playing
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana and Spencer. I mean, again, Kristen Stewart has come into her own acting wise.
Right.
You see the breadth and the depth of her acting. You know, playing Diana Spencer as well as Diana Spencer.
Hmm.
She's a wonderful woman. I mean, it's hard, playing a British role, things like that. I think she shows her depth moving away from Twilight. She's
Right.
come a long way. Penelope Cruz, she's come a long way as well as an actress.
Hmm.
She's really grown over time. Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter, again, another great actress.
Hmm.
But I mean, there were also, and I guess my thing is there were a lot more younger actresses who did some great stuff this year or
Right.
last year that could have been nominated as well. I'm
Right.
just being sad to see that, but I see that they make up for it in the supporting roles as well. Kristen Dunst, she's always good. Judy
Uh,
Dench is always a good one. Anjanou,
Um,
she played the mother well in King Richard.
right.
Uh,
And
uh,
also another actress I completely forgot, Ariana DeBose, who played the same role that Rita Moreno did in West Side Story. So,
yes, I saw some. I did not fully see the movie, but I saw clips from it, and I could just tell the hint. She grasped that role and just ran with it. So I think it's going to be interesting to see who wins in Best Supporting.
it
Um,
should definitely. But also, one thing I wanted to address too is that Samuel L. Jackson is getting an honorary Academy Award, which is fantastic.
really,
Yeah, he's getting an honorary, because they usually hand out, at least, maybe 3 or 4 honorary Academy Awards a year. So Samuel L. Jackson is getting an honorary Academy Award this year at the Governor's Ball. And then Danny Glover is getting the Gene Herschel Humanitarian Award. which is also fantastic. And I believe Tyler Perry won that last year. So that is fantastic
Wow.
too.
That is fantastic. I mean, but then again, Samuel Jackson, I mean, he is the hardest working man in Hollywood.
He is.
Because, I mean, if you look at his movie portfolio, it is unbelievable what he's been in. I mean, he was on Snakes in a Plane. Come on. I
And of course,
mean,
that's got that one famous line that I can't repeat, but it's definitely memorable.
okay, it's Snakes in a Plane. I mean, but I mean, you think about it, he has been in
He's been in Star Wars. He's been in
he was
like
in Star Wars,
all
he's
the
been in,
Marvel films. He was in Pulp Fiction, which is, what got him nominated for like his
yes.
first Academy Award. Basically, in all the Tarantino films, it's like Samuel Jackson. He just pops up everywhere.
He's also was in all of the black director doing
In Spike
commercials.
Lee films, yeah, he's been in a
All the
number of
Spike
Spike
Lee
Lee
films.
films.
He's
Yeah,
been in a number of them. So I mean, you just see and the breadth of him, all the different characters he's played. He just likes acting.
oh yeah,
It didn't matter if he was leading or not. He likes acting,
yeah,
and I think it's fantastic that he's being honored that way
yeah.
because he just. I'm amazed that he's not tired. Good God.
I know.
Yeah.
And he went to HBCU too. He went to Morehouse. So
Did
good
go to
Morehouse man right
Morehouse.
there. Yeah.
And I think also, well, also the other character that I'm really interested in is it is the animated feature film of the year.
Right. Right.
Win, because we
Right.
had a lot of good ones come out this year.
Yes, we did. We did. As far as I'm trying to look here real quick. As far as animated films, I believe it is, ooh, let me look.
Encanto is one.
Yes, Encanto is one. Flea, which is remarkable because it's a foreign film. It got nominated for best international film, best documentary, and best animated film. So I don't think there's a film that's ever done that before, which is just fascinating. So I'm definitely gonna check that out. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm trying to think what is Flea about. I don't know that one.
you know what? I actually had to look that up. I'll look that up after the show. But Luca also got nominated for best animated film, The Mitchells versus the Machines, and Raya and the Last Dragon. So,
It's a
but
good category this year. I mean,
it
in
is.
terms of animation, is very, very good.
Oh yeah,
Very good.
very, very good. I'm just like, I'm amazed. It's like, and it's a Danish film. But Flea, it's a Danish animated docudrama. It
Oh,
follows
okay.
the story of a man who shares his hidden past for the first time of fleeing his country. Okay, well, yeah, that's why it's called Flea.
Okay. Well, I mean, but it's just it's a. I think it's a very good lineup. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens,
It
and
is.
I just can't wait to see.
Yeah, and just a reminder, the Oscars are on March 27th, and they should be on ABC at 8 o'clock p.m. So just keep that on your calendar.
Okay. All right. I
All
will keep it on
right.
my calendar.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's what I have today for chocolate news, John.
All right. Awesome. And remember, you can find more information about today's topics and past podcast episodes at www.thecincinnatiherald.com. You can find on the session newsletter or on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And let me remind you, if you want to sign up for the session newsletter, just go to our website and it will immediately come up. Just sign up and you'll get alerts about the latest stories that appear on our website. And also make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast app. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the Facebook mobile app, YouTube, and Google Podcasts. So I'm John Alexander Reese, and have a good day.